everybody. I'm not sure who's with me today, but whoever's here, thank you for being here. I appreciate you watching. Today we're talking Trump against the world. And why? Because the world's against Trump. And the world's against the United States. See, the world wants us weak on trade. The world wants us weak on the border. The world wants us to implode from within. We just can't do it. Today we're talking Al Green, but not the singer turned reverend. We're talking Congressman Al Green from Houston. We're talking impeachment last week. We're talking Mueller from this week. And we're talking more impeachment on the horizon. Looks like the Dems are going to pack it up for recess, come home and run on impeachment. It's great for Republicans. We're talking more immigration. I give the Democratic led House an F. Sleepy Joe Biden, U.S. trade, and a little bit more. So while I got your attention, let's go on right in. First, start with my man Al Green, Democratic Congressman, state of Texas, 9th District, some of Houston, home of Sunnyside, South Acres, which we'll get into a little bit later. 2 weeks ago, Congressman Al Green introduced articles of impeachment for the third time, and for the third time it failed miserably. So let me repeat that. 3 times now, Congressman Al Green has tried to impeach the president, and 3 times his efforts have fallen short. Now here's the thing about it. Well, I'll tell you what. Stray with me for a little bit. Let's take a trip to Houston, Texas. Last year, 2 neighborhoods in Houston made what's called the most dangerous neighborhoods in America list. Two hoods, Sunnyside and the 3rd Ward neighborhood off of Dowling, down in the city. Just look at the headlines. From those 2 areas. And why do I bring this up? Because which 2 representatives represent those 2 neighborhoods in Congress? Al Green and none other than Sheila Jackson Lee. They want to impeach the president. They want to investigate the president. They want to do all these things. But what are they doing for those districts? Here's a prime example of they should probably go back to where they came from, fix the crime-infested, poverty-infested districts and neighborhoods, then come back to D.C. and tell us how it should be done. I'll move forward after that because sometimes I digress, and that's all I'll say about that. Next, the Mueller testimony. A week after Al Green's attempt to impeach the president, we have the Mueller testimony in front of the House Judiciary and Intelligence Committee. It was absolutely nothing. It went absolutely nowhere. It was a waste of time, a waste of taxpayer dollars, and we learned nothing. And it made Bob Mueller look really bad. And I felt bad for Bob Mueller for an instance. But he allowed this to happen, and the Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for this one. But anyway, with all that being said, that should be enough for impeachment talk, right? Surely at this point, there's no more talk of impeachment. Let's move on with running the country. But nope, here we go again. They're still on impeachment, and even though the party leader is resistant, the Democrat Party is still forging ahead trying to impeach the president. Now here's the thing about it. Here's what we know. Two things we know. The Democrat Party is split, and they're split on impeaching the president. And so why are we talking impeachment? Why are we even having this discussion? Why is it such a priority for Democrats to impeach the president? Easy. They have nothing else to run on. They've accomplished nothing. They've done nothing. And so the next best thing is to call the president a racist and try to impeach the president. What happened to immigration? 2-3 weeks ago, Ocasio-Cortez and friends, they were all about the babies at the border. What happened? I'll tell you what happened. What happened is they had no solutions, and because they had no solutions that exposed them for the people who they are, they don't really care. They needed something to rally around. They needed a campaign slogan. They needed campaign material, so they went and spent time at the border and pretended to care. Fake love. Which leads me right into my next point. The reason why I give the Democratic-held House of Representatives an F. They are the majority party in the House. Half of them want to impeach the president. The other half of them want to investigate only. And for that reason, I give the Democratic-held House of Representatives an F. They've done absolutely nothing. And what's the outcome when these things happen? You got a broken Congress, a broken legislative branch, and they don't care because they thrive when we stay or remain status quo. And once again, that's why they hate the president. That's why they hate Trump. That's why the world hates Trump, because he understands there's no such thing as staying the same. You either get better or you get worse in this world. And so if you're not getting better in this world, you're getting worse in this world. And that's just what it comes down to.
In fact, one of the Democrats today said that it's a he, sleepy person, said that he heard from a lot of foreign leaders and they want him to be president. Of course they do. So they can continue to rip off the United States. Of course they
do. And Donald Trump understands that. But listen, folks, all the stuff we've been talking about for the last couple of minutes, you know, we talked about Congress and their dereliction of duty. Now let's talk a little bit about what the president's been doing. What's the president been doing? Still fighting for Americans. ASAP Rocky is still in Sweden, and the president's letting them know that he's not happy about it. He thinks it's weak, and he wants one of our citizens back home. He feels that the situation has not been taken care of properly, and he's speaking his mind on it, and I can appreciate that. I can really appreciate him, you know, going out of his way, taking time to show support for an American citizen who he feels was probably unfairly treated on the world stage. And what's the Democrats doing right now? Maybe fighting for health care for illegals. So once again, we go back to a clear distinction between what the president is doing and what the Democrats are doing. Once again, when it comes to what the Democratic-controlled Congress is doing, what the Democratic-controlled House is doing right now, when it comes to immigration, they're kicking the can down the road. They're going on down the road with it. They're going on home to recess. It's time for a vacation, you know. And you can't blame that on the Republicans, because the conservatives say, let's stay for a little longer and get some more work done. Forget about recess. But that's not on the agenda for the Democrats. once again, when it comes to immigration, protecting our country from invasion, what's the president doing? Let's see, making deals. This week, the president made a deal with the Guatemalan government to help stop human trafficking and provide safety for legitimate asylum seekers. What else is the president doing? Making plays. This week, the Supreme Court said yes to allowing the president to use funds from the Pentagon to build a wall. So now we got a wall starting, and that makes sense. The Pentagon is the home of the Department of Defense. There's an invasion on our southern border, and we need defense. So that's what they do. Trump's the commander-in-chief. He's defending our border, so I like that notion. And lastly, when it comes to putting dollars back into American pockets and making sure we aren't weak on trade, what are the Democrats doing? And that's just unfortunate. But what's the president doing? Calling out China. Calling out the World Trade Organization. China and 10 other countries keep cheating by falsifying their status. They get the big breaks, and everyone else gets dogged out and left behind when it comes to world trade and commerce. The president has a problem with it. He wants it to stop, and he's calling them out on it. They want us weak on trade. They want us weak on defense. They want us divided. They want us to implode from within. We just can't do it. And in closing, good people, I'll leave you with this one. Polls show that Sleepy Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders lead the field for the Democratic presidential candidates. According to the president, I think we're in good shape for 2020.
I think if I heard that, I'd never vote for him. And then you have Bernie. Crazy Bernie. You got a choice between Sleepy Joe and Crazy Bernie. And I'll take any. Let's just pick somebody, please, and let's start this thing. Let's start it. Pick somebody. We have a young man, Boot Edge. They say edge. He's got a great chance, doesn't he? He'll be great. Representing us against President Xi of China. That'll be great. I want to be in that room. I want to watch that one.
God bless America. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for more. See you next time. One Joe.